Breaking news! The week has started off hot and the atmosphere behind the scenes at the Philadelphia Eagles is at a fever pitch. Today I have some important updates to share with you, and everything indicates that we will have surprises ahead. We all know that the Eagles are eyeing a Super Bowl appearance, and for that to happen, the Eagles need to structure this team very well. Howie has already made it clear that he wants to win this second consecutive title, and I confess that this makes me very happy. His commitment and determination are impressive. I will tell you everything that is happening now. But before I continue, make sure you have already pressed the like button if you are a true Philadelphia Eagles fan. And if you have been a fan of the Eagles for over 20 years, leave a comment saying, "Go, Eagles." My heart bleeds green and white. Right off the bat, the Philadelphia Eagles shook the entire draft world. No one, and I mean no one, saw this coming. For the first time in 13 years, Howie Roseman has drafted at least 10 players without any of them being on the Eagles' top 30 list of players they've visited. Think about that for a second. None. This reversal of strategy has even seasoned draft analysts stunned. Last year, the Eagles selected 5 of their 8 picks directly from the Eagles' top 30 list of players they've visited, a system that many believed was practically a blueprint for Howie's approach to the draft. But in 2025, Roseman threw the rules out the window and reinvented his entire process, sending a clear signal that the Eagles are playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. And what's even crazier, their NFC East rivals couldn't resist copying the Eagles' previous strategies. The Dallas Cowboys signed 2 prospects from the Eagles' top 30 list of players they've visited, Donovan Izraku of Boston College and Jaden Blue of Texas. The Washington Commanders also got in on the action, selecting Josh Connolly Jr. and Trey Amos, players the Eagles had been heavily associated with. Even the Giants couldn't help themselves, signing Marcus Bowe from Purdue. Meanwhile, the Eagles went in a completely different direction, targeting players who weren't widely discussed during the pre-draft process, leaving every other team guessing. Despite having opportunities to move up in the second and third rounds, Howie Roseman decided against mortgaging future assets. Instead, he focused on maintaining a stockpile of draft capital for the 2026 NFL Draft, where the Eagles are projected to have 12 to 13 picks, many within the first 5 rounds. That's a massive chess piece for a franchise that's already built to compete at the highest level. Philadelphia clearly has a long-term vision, win now, but never at the expense of tomorrow. One of the wildest twists of the draft weekend involved the Eagles nearly trading up with the Los Angeles Chargers for pick number 22 to select linebacker Jayad Campbell. But a communication mishap between teams resulted in the trade falling through at the last second. Talk about fate stepping in. Because of that, the Eagles ended up staying patient and landing a haul that could shape the next phase of their dominance. Let's talk players. Andrew Mukuba, selected at pick 64, may not have been the highest on everyone's board, but he fits the Eagles' mold perfectly. Mukuba, a safety who can double as a slot corner, embodies the mentality the Eagles are looking for. While his relative athletic score wasn't eye-popping, ranking only 5.12, which is below average for free safeties, his tape shows a player with excellent instincts, ball skills, and big play ability. At Clemson and later at Texas, Mukuba consistently shut down passing lanes, finishing his final season allowing just 74 passing yards over 401 coverage snaps with a stunning passer rating against of only 12.1. The man is a ball hawk, plain and simple. The Eagles also added freak athlete Ty Robinson, a defensive tackle from Nebraska who boasts a rare combination of size and speed. At 6 feet 6 inches, 300 pounds, Robinson recorded the fastest 10-yard split for defensive tackles at the NFL combined over the past 3 years. His 16% pressure rate when lined up at the 0 or 1 technique was considered elite by scouts. Some insiders even believe Robinson might end up being the steal of this class. And if you were wondering about the rumors regarding Shader Sanders, yes, there was buzz that the Eagles could be a dark horse to select him. But according to credible sources, including Jeff McClain, the Eagles were not planning to take Sanders even if he had fallen to them. Instead, Philadelphia scooped up Syracuse quarterback Kyle McCord 1 round later, a move that adds a local storybook twist, given that McCord grew up an Eagles fan. No drama, no distractions, just players who want to be part of the culture. Speaking of drama, Dallas Goedert's situation deserves mentioning. While reports suggest the Eagles want to keep him, Howie Roseman's cautious words hint at ongoing negotiations that aren't exactly close to a resolution. Given how the draft shook out, notably, the Eagles didn't draft or even sign a single tight end among their undrafted free agents, Goedert holds a strong hand at the bargaining table. It's something fans will want to watch closely as the offseason unfolds. Rounding out the draft, the Eagles continued to build from the trenches with 3 offensive linemen, Boston College center Drew Kendall, Michigan tackle Miles Hinton, and Texas tackle Cameron Williams. Each of these players brings NFL bloodlines, versatility, and massive upside, especially under the tutelage of Jeff Stoutland, the best defensive line coach in football. On the defensive side, UCF's cornerback M.J. McWilliams and Georgia linebacker Smile Mondon Jr. add speed and toughness. Virginia Tech edge rusher Antoine Powell-Ryland, who racked up 16 sacks, was the final draft pick, offering even more pass-rushing depth for Vic Fangio to play with. Among undrafted free agents, the Eagles may have found some hidden gems too. Central Arkansas running back Shedrick Powell, Florida running back Montrell Johnson, and Toledo linebacker Lance Dixon are a few names to keep an eye on when training camp rolls around. Plus, the Eagles continued building on familiar chemistry, adding players like Maxon Hook, who previously played alongside first-round pick Quinyon Mitchell at Toledo. It's hard not to be excited about what Howie Roseman and the front office pulled off. This wasn't just a good draft, it was a strategic masterclass that reinforced Philadelphia's present without sacrificing their future. Now, here's where I turn it over to you. What do you think about the Eagles' draft strategy of avoiding top 30 visit players and stockpiling for 2026? Did Howie Roseman just pull off another genius move to keep the Eagles ahead of the rest of the NFL? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I'm ready for part 2 if you are. Building off that, let's dive even deeper because the ripple effects of Howie Roseman's 2025 NFL draft strategy are just starting to be felt across the league. The decision to completely pivot away from the Eagles' traditional top 30 visit blueprint wasn't just a minor change, it was a bold statement. It shows that Howie and the Eagles front office are confident enough in their scouting, player development, and internal intelligence gathering that they don't need to telegraph their moves to the league anymore. Think about it. By not drafting any top 30 visit players, Philadelphia essentially cut off a major scouting breadcrumb trail that rival teams have been following for years. And what's fascinating is the deeper layers of the connections between these drafted players and current Eagles. You can see a clear pattern where Howie leaned heavily into players who had previous relationships with current Eagles, whether it was former teammates or personal connections. Ty Robinson played with Cam Jurgens at Nebraska. Miles Hinton played with Trevor Keegan at Michigan. Maxon Hook played with Quinyon Mitchell at Toledo. It's not just about familiarity, it's about getting direct, trusted intel from players already inside the building. If your franchise cornerback or starting guard says, yeah, this guy is a warrior, a true teammate, that's better than any staged pre-draft visit or scripted interview. Zooming in on Andrew Mukuba again, despite concerns about his relative athletic score, his production and versatility can't be ignored. Safety was a glaring need for this Eagles team, and Vic Fangio's defensive system thrives when there's a smart, instinctual player patrolling the middle of the field. Mukuba isn't just a plug-and-play safety, he's a chess piece. He can line up over the slot, help in run support, and bait quarterbacks into mistakes. His instincts, route recognition, and ball-hawking ability fit exactly what Philly needed to stabilize a shaky secondary. If you're an Eagles fan right now, you should feel incredibly excited about what's coming. We're building something special in Philadelphia, something that could very well end with another parade down Broad Street. If you stuck around this long, make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like if you bleed green, and check out the videos popping up right here on the screen for even more deep dives into the Eagles' offseason moves. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Go Birds!